This week on Reliving the Extreme, we are discussing the episode of ECW TV from April the 1st, 1997. At least that's the way it's dated on the WWE Network or Peacock.
Yeah. It's iffy on that just because of the different.
Some of them are weird because sometimes, like, I'll go to look something up about the episode on the internet, and I have to look for a different date because it's probably, I don't know. Well, WWE Network probably bases it on whatever the tape that they own says.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it could have been somebody writing that review. They saw it on Sunshine Network like 4 days later or whatever.
Right. But yeah. Regardless, the Brothers Maxon here with you. I'm Nate. That's Aaron.
Hello, everybody.
And spoiler alert, or not a spoiler alert. We'll get to it later on in the show. But Aaron, can you guess what the name of this episode is going to be?
I have no idea.
Oh, no? The name of this episode is going to be Hello, Asshole.
Okay, yeah. All right.
But anyway, that's way later on in the episode. But that shit fucking popped me. I sat next to my dog on the couch and laughed. Anyway. This is the last episode we will be reviewing before Barely Legal next week on episode 200, because next week's episode of Hardcore TV is pretty much a run-up of what happened, or what's happened to lead to Barely Legal. Chad will be back with us next week, and I also have a bonus interview that I recorded for the 200th episode, the Barely Legal episode, with former PWI editor Bob Smith. Recorded an quick interview with him because Bob was actually the first play-by-play man for ECW before sweaty what's his name, old sweaty tall guy,
Jay Sully.
Before sweaty Jay Sully, Bob Smith was the first.
Yeah, well,
one.
You remember we like one of the early episodes, Jay Sully's commentating and he's got a Bob with him.
Yeah,
and we contemplated that was
Bob Smith and Bob. Some of the first people that Todd Gordon had commentate were Bob Smith and Stately Wayne Manor from the old wrestling magazines. But I had a little conversation with Bob. That'll be on next week's episode. And of course, like I said, it'll be the review of Barely Legal, the first ECW pay-per-view.
And with the hello asshole thing, it's like you can't beat you some Terry Funk. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it. The show that we're watching here opens with footage from where this show's taking place this week, the Golden Dome in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with Shane Douglas trying to rip the mask off, who is the man that is obviously Rick Rude. And pretty much Joey just saying that he doesn't want to wait till Barely Legal to get the opportunity to unmask Rick Rude.
Yeah.
But I love how Joey's like, if that man is Rick Rude.
Rick Rude. Well, I'm not saying it is, but if it is.
Yeah, then Joey intros the show. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know, people, I love how people were like, well, Rude wore the mask because of the Lloyds of London thing. It's like,
no.
If it was, really actual insurance problems, Lloyds of London would have been like, really? It was just a tongue-in-cheek thing.
It was. They were being funny. They were being facetious. It was like, yes. I think you weren't on the episode with me when Chad and I had this discussion, but Chad asked me if it was a contract thing, and I said no, because this is 97. Rude's WCW contract, that was out in 94. And he hadn't.
He was nowhere near Vince.
No, and he hadn't. Between WCW and this, he didn't do anything. He might have done something with that silly thing that they had going on in Vegas that Honky Tonk Man and Warrior worked on, that NWF or whatever it was.
And then he did the IWCCW stuff for a little bit. But yeah. This is just Rude getting back in the game.
So the
crazy. Sorry.
No, you're okay.
I was just gonna say it's crazy. He was 40 years old when he died.
Mm-hmm.
That is insane.
Well, that's just like the other day. I know he's not dead, but just based on how long he wrestled and the impact his career had and everything, I was watching last night. Actually, last night I was watching WrestleMania 22. Right, the hardcore match between Foley and Edge.
Yeah.
Mick Foley was only 41 when he had that match. 41.
That's what I'm saying. It's insane.
It's insane. Like,
Back in the day, those guys. Like, you'd think Mick would have been like 50 something.
Yeah.
Grizzled old veteran. It's insane. It's nuts.
Again, we opened the show after the Douglas thing with Joey Styles introing the show, saying we're at the Golden Dome in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He hypes the pay-per-view weekend coming up, talking about the Terry Funk banquet on Saturday night, and then Sunday the pay-per-view, runs down the pay-per-view card. And a couple of notes that I had here was the pay-per-view. He says and I didn't even remember this. The pay-per-view didn't start till 9.
Yeah.
And the other thing I wrote down was, this is such a monumental thing in 1997. A wrestling federation that isn't the WCW or the WWF getting a pay-per-view, right? There's all the story about how it was on again and off again and viewer's choice and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And I just thought to myself, I was like, any stupid ass little rinky dink wrestling company nowadays can have a pay-per-view. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like our pay-per-view on Fight TV or whatever, or YouTube, or
or they just stream it.
Yeah, it's just so easy for, and you think about this back being like almost 30 years ago, it's like how difficult it was for this little promotion to get a pay-per-view. And now all they have to do is set up a camera and a fucking YouTube channel and
put a GoPro up. We'll make it happen.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. It's fucking crazy to me. But they're finally getting their pay-per-view April 13th. And then we get I put down here, this is a very long, it's a good promo from Raven, but it's very long. And it's almost like he took like 4 promos he really was happy about and mixed them together as one promo.
Yeah, and what he, or if Heyman had him do it, whoever, what they did good with it was like going into the pay-per-view, like in the last few weeks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really been like Terry Funk, Raven centric.
Yeah.
And if you're a real wrestling fan, Terry Funk's winning this fucking match.
Right.
Terry Funk's winning this 3-way or whatever. But just the story they were telling, it was gearing it more towards Terry, like the last few weeks or whatever. But Raven did a good job in this promo by kind of going over the history he had with all 3 of them.
Yes. Essentially, to remind you that you're right, though. It's to bring us back to the fact that there are 3 men vying for the championship and that he has a history with all 3 men. It's not just, he's like you said, anybody that knows how wrestling logic and booking logic works, obviously, Terry Funk's going to be the one to get the title shot. Yeah. But can we, like you said, through this promo, he goes into the history he has with Sandman and Stevie, so it reminds you, no, one of these other 2 guys could be the one to get the shot, and they'd be justified.
So, I mean, they did a good job in that, and then Raven did the fucking. I wrote Raven cuts a church promo. It's that promo, the footsteps thing or whatever.
Yeah.
About the father, and then he rolls it back into Terry Funk. But like going into it, watching week into week for like the last month or whatever, I was like, man, they're really hitting home with the Terry Funk Raven thing. So this was, like I said, I kind of enjoyed it because he did at least focus in on those 2 guys, and they do it good with the next segment too.
Yeah, I like the okay. So you got the promo. Like Aaron said, Raven's bringing up the stuff about the father, the father figure kind of thing. He brings up the stuff about Richards and how Richards, forsaked him or whatever. And then, of course, with Sandman, he's no apologies. I'm glad I ruined your life, kind of a thing. And then Joey comes back, and Joey adds to the show, and that's why Joey's so much like Lance Russell or Bob Caudle. In that just he's not just like the commentator like a Jim Ross or a Vince McMahon or whatever, like a broadcaster. He's more a narrator of the show and more a part of if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But Joey comes in and tells the other side of the story pretty much. Like, I understand Raven had a rough childhood. I understand his father was an asshole, essentially. But I don't have any sympathy for him because he's just exploiting his hardships to be awful to other people, is pretty much what Joey says.
Yeah.
It doesn't justify anything that he's done.
Like, he's abused Stevie. He ruined Sandman's family for like the last basically saying for like the last 2 years, this guy's been an extreme prick.
Yeah. And
And
now
he's
we're all
going to
supposed to
deserve
forgive.
whatever happens.
Now we're all supposed to forgive him because his daddy was mean to him.
Yeah, his dad didn't go to his ball game. It's like, fuck off, dude.
So yeah, all good shit there. Then we roll into the first.
Joey's so good, man.
He is. He's. Nobody else could have been what he was like for this company. Nobody else could have been what he was.
It's funny because I was gonna ask this when we got into the pay-per-view, but like that's what I was gonna say is like Joey the most important person for ECW. You know what I mean? Like, say what you want to say about like the four pillars, like Sandman, Tommy, Sabu, Taz. But it's like
as far as presenting Paul Heyman's vision 100% on television, Joey like why did Vince McMahon wanted to be the play-by-play man for his shows? Because he wanted to present the TV how he wanted it presented, and he wanted to be able to tell the story the way he wanted to tell it because it was his story, right? Paul Heyman essentially, like, Paul Heyman's brain and Joey Styles' mouth, and then Joey Styles conveying Paul Heyman's message are like that Vince McMahon. You know what I mean? You're right, though. He's critical. He's a critical part of this whole presentation. Unlike, I would say, and I said Vince, and Vince, let's just take the WWF out of the equation. All right. I'm going to throw the WWF aside. Joey is to ECW what Gordon Solie was to Florida or any other promotion he was in.
And see, it was funny because, like you said, and I know you didn't want the show to go too long.
That's fine.
Whatever.
Fine.
But you still like Bob Caudle or Lance Russell or whatever. But like talking about like, Vince wanting to be the voice or whatever. Joey's like Gorilla Monsoon almost, like I don't know if that makes sense. But like when I think of like WWF, I honestly don't think of Vince's voice so much. I think of Gorilla Monsoon.
I can see that.
So it's like, like when I think of ECW, I think of his voice, and then all that time, Monsoon would have been great if he went ahead Vince in his ear, but Monsoon was conveying the story that Vince wanted to tell. You know what I mean? It's like if I can't be the guy in the booth, Gorilla's the guy that I want in the booth because he's gonna tell the fucking story I want to tell.
Right.
I don't know if that makes sense.
That makes sense. And I know we took a long way to get there because we compared him to Lance Russell, Bob Caudle, Gordon Solie, and Gorilla Monsoon. So I think what we're saying is, yes, as far as this promotion goes, Joey Styles is badass. He's integral.
And he's badass. And he's fucking funny. And that's what I'll say about it too. It's like And then I'll stop about the Joey thing. I know, like, a lot of times people are like, well, Joey was just doing what Paul told him to do, or told him what he wanted to say, or whatever. It's like, well, Joey's about to do a 2.5 hour pay-per-view by himself,
Yeah.
live, which is a feat. And then got to the WWE later on, and I think did a fantastic job there. So I don't think it should just be, oh, he was just doing whatever Paul said and he was pre-produced. Joey's good at his fucking job.
Absolutely. Everywhere he goes, everything he does. You'll never hear me say anything negative about Joey Styles. Nothing.
Yeah.
The first matchup that we have here on the show, it's Raven and Shane Douglas teaming up against Terry Funk and Tommy Dreamer. And I like the little underpinning through the commentary and through little things that happen in the match, which I didn't necessarily write them all down. But there's an underpinning here of, because Funk and Dreamer are friends. But Joey alludes to it, and they do in their actions throughout the match too, and the fact that Raven and Douglas are teaming out of necessity. But Raven knows that Douglas would love to have his title, and Douglas knows that Douglas would love to have Raven's title,
Yeah.
I like the fact that they did that. Like, the two snakes have to team up, but they're fucking snakes.
Yeah. They go to the Golden Dome for a pay-per-view. I can't remember which pay-per-view off the top of my head. And then a couple more and a couple TV tapings. It's a unique, cool looking building, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's almost the way that it has kind of that high ceiling. It has, obviously, because it's a dome, but when I'll get to a point here. The way that it has that high ceiling, and then you have some wall until you get to where there's actually seats. It's not the same thing, but it almost puts me in mind of the Norfolk Scope.
Yeah,
it's like WCW.
It's the most. Yeah, I thought the same thing. It's like, I looked at the building. I'm like, this is the most like round building
I
think I've ever seen.
But it's just like
Oh, good.
I was just gonna say, like, WCW. Sometimes when you watch a TV show or you watch a bunch of pay-per-views or you watch, arenas can be indistinguishable or whatever. But when you look at the Norfolk Scope, it's the Norfolk Scope. It's one of those buildings that's very identifiable.
Yeah, it's like the Scope, the Omni, MSG, Rosemont. Like, it's like, those buildings.
Yeah.
You don't know them anymore.
Obviously,
but yeah.
But no, I agree with you. It's a cool looking building on TV.
Yeah. And it was always a good crowd. And obviously, the crowd's into Shane. And I don't have a lot of notes about it either, but it's like
okay, so my notes start at, so it says, my notes say Raven and Douglas versus Funk and Dreamer. Then I don't have a lot of notes. I don't have any notes. All right. So probably for like the first 5-6 minutes, this match is just a wrestling match. Like, they're just doing a standard, doesn't even feel like an ECW match. And then I put, at this point, Douglas and Funk go to the outside. This sets things in motion, because that's like, there was nothing into it. And then, then there's a table, and then there, so it's about the first 5-6 minutes. It's just kind of a standard tag match. And then you go into your ECW madness.
Yeah. And it's, how do I say it? It's, I don't know, we bag on Tommy, a lot, but it's for like professional wrestlers that know what they're doing. Like say what you want to say about Tommy and his promos and put upon Tommy and all that or whatever. But at the end of the day, Tommy wasn't a terrible worker.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't a terrible worker, and he was over with the ECW crowd. So
Yeah.
you
And
know,
it was four guys that knew, hey, if we just, and I'm assuming it was four guys that just said, hey, if we just go out there and just start hitting each other with crutches and chairs and tables in the first minute and a half, what does any of that mean? You know? So it's like, let's
one
go out there and give them 6 minutes of wrestling and then hit
one
them with
one.
hardcore shit.
My next note, though, is I was actually shocked and surprised. 2 times during this match, Raven goes through a table. It's usually, the way a Raven match usually goes with Scott Levy. It's usually everybody else in the fucking soup, and he's just watching it happen around him. I was like, all right, he took a couple table spots in this match.
Well, you know what it might be, and we're gonna get it, I think, a little bit later on with Barely Legal. It's like, hey, how about you just fall through the table? It's like, hello, asshole. Maybe you should go through. All right, Mr. Funk. I'll do what you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, all right, Terry.
This ain't Sandman I'm dealing with here.
Yeah, this is fucking Terry Funk. I'm not gonna tell this guy how to fucking work the match. I'm gonna do what this guy tells me to do. I guarantee Raven wasn't like, this is what we're gonna do, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to make note of that because, like I said, we talk about it all the time, how we watch so much chaos happen, and very rarely does anything really chaotic happen to Raven. But it got to happen to him in this match. Shane Douglas introduces a frying pan as a weapon at one point. Brian Lee gets involved on the outside and attacks both Tommy Dreamer and Terry Funk.
The shape of his career, by the way, not Brian Lee. I'm talking about Shane Douglas.
What was that? What about his career?
I was just gonna say the best shape of his career. And then you brought it. You said Brian Lee. I was like, it's not Brian Lee. I was saying Shane Douglas. Like, this is Shane Douglas's peak. Peak Shane Douglas is 96 through 98.
That's I totally agree.
Like the perfect fucking wrestler.
I totally agree. And remind me, did he like fall victim to like knee injuries and shit at one point?
He had a lot of fucking injuries.
And the reason I say that, and I can't. His
main injury was his elbow. He fucked his elbow up bad.
Okay. Well, I can't ever judge wrestlers on their physique because I'm a 5'6" portly man or chubby man myself. But I just know that, like we were just talking about Douglas, 96 and 98, he's in peak physical condition. By the time he's in WCW in 99 into 2000, he's like chubby. He's got to wear the shirt a lot. And I just didn't know if he got to a point where he was injured and he couldn't work out or what heck, because I just couldn't remember, to be honest with you.
His main injury was like he fucked his elbow up pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to wear, like, there's a lot of time in ECW where he's wearing a fucking elbow brace because he fucked that up. And like he fucked up his, like, he's the only wrestler I've ever heard of that had a ruptured palate, which is like in your mouth. Like he fucked his mouth up and his elbow, and
let's see. Raven then starts whacking away on Terry Funk with a chair. They get into the ring. He's got the chair. He's got Funk, like, I think his leg is in the chair, and Raven's using a spinning toe hold on Terry Funk, trying to add some insult to injury. Stevie Richards comes to the ring. Stevie kicked to Raven. Stevie kicked to Terry Funk. Sandman comes out and canes the shit out of everybody. And then, of course, we get a couple of few seconds of Francine. They're giving us the greatest hits here. Is that Francine and Beulah do a cat fight. Shane Douglas hits a belly to belly on Tommy Dreamer. And this is where I was talking about the friction between Douglas and Raven. Raven pushes Douglas off of Dreamer and gets the pin on Dreamer off of Shane Douglas's belly to belly suplex.
Yes. So they got everybody involved that was going to be in the three-way. And they still added a little bit of possible friction between the world champ and the TV champ. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun ECW match.
I agree, and it actually, the way I can tell that because the ECW style walk and brawl thing, those matches a lot of times when I'm reviewing these shows, be perfectly honest with you, as those matches are going on, I zone out sometimes because it's just guys walking around the crowd and hitting each other with shit, and it's like it is what like Raven. It is what it is. It's an ECW walk and brawl. This one actually kept my attention, and I took some pretty detailed notes on it. So I think it was well structured, and like you said, it was a good match. I don't have any complaints about it, and like it got the job done and hit every point going into the pay-per-view, like you said.
And it was for when I say workers, I mean I know I'm not obviously a wrestler, but it's for workers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's like four guys that when I try to say that, I mean, or when I say that, I mean, it's like, it's four guys that before they were like hardcore wrestlers, they were wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I know Raven, when he got to ECW, was like, I'm not going to take any bumps anymore. That's how my character does. But he was Scotty Flamingo and Scotty the Body and all that before that, you know? And
yeah.
Tommy was trained by Johnny Rods.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Shane was a wrestler before he was whatever. And Shane wasn't ever really a hardcore wrestler to begin with.
No.
And then fucking Terry Funk's involved in it. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I enjoyed this match.
The next item that we have on this show, it is a triple threat match. I guess it's not triple threat. Which one is the one where there's elimination? Is that three-way dance? Fuck, I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a three-way match, tag team match for the tag team titles. The Dudley Boys, the Eliminators, and the Gangstas. I liked how it was Joe Gertner introduces the Dudleys, and then Joey comes on and just goes, "The World Tag Team," mocking Joel Gertner. I thought that was fun.
Their relationship's funny.
Yes, it is.
How for like 2-3 years he fucking hated the guy. But like by like 99 he's like, this fucking guy's funny. Like him. Like Cyrus showed up and he was like, all right, he's not so bad.
Doesn't Jason show up again at some point?
Oh, Jason's gonna show up again.
I was questioning myself. It was actually a couple of weeks ago when I was reviewing one of these shows. I was like, do I misremember? Because I thought Jason was back by now. Like, he's been gone forever. I don't know why I thought he was. I thought he was back by the pay-per-view, but I guess not.
No, Jason's back. Not too far from now. Jason will be back when we get.
He's with the Impact players, right?
Yeah. Jason. I was just say Jason will be back when we get like Alto.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, I know I'm not. This is a fever dream or something. Because, like I always say, I'm not that guy that watches a lot of ECW retroactively until we started doing this show. Like, I watched it in real time. Yeah, it's ECW, whatever. I don't rewatch ECW like I do WWF and WCW. So, as far as ECW history goes, sometimes I'm like, I don't remember any of this. So I
Yeah,
was like, did I
Jason,
misremember that Jason was around?
now Jason will be back. He'll be with Just Incredible and Lance and
Because I remember, I
uh,
think Joey with he gives me hives, that kind of shit. He
yeah,
gets back into that again.
yeah, and then that firecracker Dom Marie, she'll show up. It'll be awesome.
But yes, the Dudleys, the Eliminators, and the Gangstas, which I believe was originally supposed to be the pay-per-view match. And then for some reason, the Gangstas aren't on the pay-per-view.
The Gangstas aren't on. I think I talked about this a while back when we first started talking about the infancy of them getting the pay-per-view. The Gangstas could not be on the pay-per-view. The Gangstas are part of the reason why the pay-per-view got delayed because of the mass transit incident.
Mm-hmm.
Like the if I remember right, everything I ever heard or read or whatever, there were like a lot of things that went into like the pay-per-view getting delayed, this, that, and everything. Like the Dudleys cut a terrible, like very politically incorrect promo when like some of the viewer choice executives were there.
Of course they did.
They're like they're like, we can't do this, you know? And then the mass transit situation happened. Or that might be the other way around. The mass transit situation might have happened, and then the Dudley Boy promo. And it was like, oh, we can't do that because this is too much, you know? And then like you were talking about where like when we were kids, we were used to like a pay-per-view starting at like 6 or 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
ECW's pay-per-view had to start at 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because it's like we can't put this shit on at fucking 7 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever. But anyway, that's why they had to get the Gangstas out of there because of the mass transit situation.
Well, in this matchup, like I said, it's a 3-way elimination match because the Gangstas get eliminated early on. Yeah. After they do all their, they do the music gimmick with the trash can and the weapons and everything's going down, and then eventually they get eliminated, I think, by the Eliminators.
No, the Dudleys took them out.
Oh, did they? Okay. Yeah, I don't know why. I just put my note says Gangstas get eliminated first, but I guess I didn't write down how they got eliminated. But
they did this match to get the Dudleys over as being the like sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're right.
But they did this match. I'm not saying shouldn't say they did this match because or however but this match was booked to kind of solidify the Dudleys as being the team.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
They've one thing that I know. Well, I'll say it after. I'll say it after we go through the match. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Get them over as because they they put them together pretty quick and they put them together as Bubba and Devon and then pretty quickly rush them up into the title picture. And this series of events gets them over. This is it's essentially giving them the belts and then getting them over.
Yeah, because in one match, like they won the belts obviously because they're the champs, but like in this match, they 3D New Jack and pin him, and then they hit Saturn with that mirror and bust him open, and the Dudleys pin the Eliminators. So in like a 3-way dance, they just beat like the two top teams we've had for like the last 3 years, that aren't the Pitbulls.
So the Gangstas get eliminated here. The ref goes down. Perry Saturn hits Bubba and Devon both with Bubba cutters. And then Sign Guy comes in. And It wasn't a mirror. It was like a big window pane of glass.
Okay.
And I wasn't correcting you. I'm just setting up this visual for people because I want to say, first of all, sign guy comes in and just you can see Saturn bracing for it, like he knows it's coming. And then sign guy shatters this. It was like he took a glass door from Home Depot, he just pulled it out of nowhere. And it hits Saturn with it. And my favorite part about it is when he does it, Joey Styles, perfect, goes, that is horrifying. I was like, that's the perfect call for that. Like, this man just came in and busted this gigantic glass pane over this other man's back. And Joey's like, that is horrifying.
Like, I've seen a lot of shit, and like, I've been here since '93. I've seen a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's fucking horrifying.
This is horrifying. Good Lord.
Because the glass is, then now the glass is all over the ring, and Saturn there's like blood pouring out of the back of his head.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, Joey's that's horrifying was a fucking fantastic call right there. It was like so simple but so effective. But because of that, the Dudleys win the match. And like Aaron said,
Yes.
this was effective at putting them over. And we still have Dudleys and Eliminators at the pay-per-view coming up as well.
Yes.
Saturn is not much longer for ECW here. So we will roll into that soon. Saturn and Raven are both gone by the end of summer. But anyway, off to WCW they go. Up next, Joey Styles is joined by Chris Candido to commentate for a match between Sabu and Louis Spicolli. And I wrote a note down, and I want you, if you did not hear what I heard, if you did not translate it the way I translated it, I would ask you to please go back and watch a few moments of this again. Because I wrote down, do you know who Chris Candido reminds me of when he's on commentary?
Oh.
Luscious Johnny Valiant.
Yeah.
He reminds me, when he's on commentary, he reminds me of Luscious Johnny V on commentary. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, his cadence and the way he, like as I was watching it, I'm listening to his voice and I'm kind of looking away, writing my notes down. I was like, he reminds me of Luscious Johnny V right now.
Fast talking Jersey guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And funny.
Yeah.
Like, very funny. Like, I know, like, Johnny V gets a lot of shit put on him.
He shouldn't. He was funny, motherfucker. Weird.
Funny.
Like, weird.
Yeah.
Weird.
I know,
like,
and that was funny.
Yeah.
Like, I like weird funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I like, like, I don't want to, like, unconventional funny.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, I just went to see Weird Al Yankovic in concert this past weekend, and you know what? The two songs, like, I enjoyed the whole fucking thing because you know me, I've been waiting to see that concert since I was 4 years old.
I've been waiting to talk to you about it.
But my two favorite moments for me personally, even though I loved the whole thing, I was glad that he did One More Minute, which is one of my favorite Weird Al songs.
Yeah.
And I was super glad, talking about unconventional funny, I was so glad that he performed Dare to Be Stupid.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you know, it's out there, and it's like Devo, obviously. It's out there, and it's weird, and it's wild, but it's fucking great.
Yeah. Did he do Raya the Kaiser?
No.
I would have been mad. That's my favorite Weird Al song. Like that, and I know it's a popular one or whatever, but I love Raya the Kaiser, and I love Rocky Road.
Yeah, he did Rocky Road. I knew he wasn't going to do my favorite. My favorite Weird Al song ever is Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I was like, I
And,
knew he wasn't going to do that one. But it
and
was great because in between sets, because obviously he does a lot of costume changes.
yeah,
In between sets, in between songs, they played a bunch of like the clips from Weird Al TV and a bunch of different, like when he do those mock interviews with people where they weren't actually there with him, he was just using clips from another interview. But one of what I thought was great, because it's Weird Al, and I knew that he thought it was funny, was the thing with Bobby and Hank Hill. They played it where Bobby's like, I could just do parody songs like Weird Al Yankovic. First of all, they call him Weird Al Yankovic. And then Hank goes, Bobby, Weird Al Yankovic took his own life in the late 80s because he was a miserable failure. And they played it. And I just thought that was great. Weird Al Yankovic took his life in the mid 80s. Weird Al Yankovic. Anyway.
And like I know he probably didn't do this song either, but you know what like talking about just like crazy obscure weird humor, like nobody else is gonna like this. When you do that with Weird Al, I love um Nature Trail to Hell in 3D.
Yeah.
It's like he did that song because he knew it was funny, and he
Yeah.
didn't give a shit if anybody else thought it was funny. It's kind of like
Albuquerque.
I know we're getting into the weeds, but like a Candido or a Johnny V doing like it's like fish heads. Like if you show fish heads to like a random person, it's like
what
they're
the
not
fuck
gonna
is
think
this?
this isn't funny. Like this is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Look at the cat eye mask. That's amazing.
Or
anyway.
you can take it back to before that. I laugh at fucking hello Mutta. Hello Futta.
Oh yeah.
Here I am at Camp Granada.
Fantastic. Oh yeah.
Spike Jones shit. Anyway.
Yeah, they call him Irving.
The Ballad of Irving, yes.
The Ballad of Irving. He's the 120th fastest gun in the West.
In the West.
Yeah, he's the 120th fastest gun in the West.
Yeah.
He's at the anyway.
Thank God for Dr. Demento when I was a kid, man.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway,
we were talking about Chris Candido, but no, Chris was so, and I know like some people talk about like he mumbled a lot of his shit or whatever, but he was so fucking funny, man. Like, I'm not saying like when we were talking about like conventional comedy, like Bobby Heenan's super funny.
Yeah.
Okay. But Bobby could be considered like conventional funny.
Right. You know? Bobby is Rodney Dangerfield or Johnny Carson funny.
Chris Candido's Letty Bruce funny.
Yes. Or like you said, a lot of those zany, off the wall fucking Dr. Demento things, novelty comedy.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely. So I'm glad I wasn't off base in thinking that Candido was similar to Johnny V. Like, I don't know.
Oh, you're not. Johnny V was so fucking funny, man.
You could tell too, as much as he likes kind of weird off the wall humor. If you watch those TNTs when Johnny V's on with Beefcake, Vince didn't get it. Like Vince is looking at that guy like, what the fuck is he talking about?
He didn't get Beefcake. He got V. Johnny V is Vince McMahon's fucking humor. And that was like one of his best friends. But yeah, Vince fucking loved him some Johnny V.
Like Johnny, there's that one.
I'll trump you on that. Fucking Vince loved.
All right. Then he didn't get Beefcake at the time because, and I don't know if that was Vince's idea or what for that, but it's like there's that one thing where Johnny V goes, "Tell him what you're gonna do, Beefcake," and Beefcake just goes and blows a raspberry like.
Vince doing the bug-eyed thing at that or whatever. That was Vince having fun with Johnny V. Because that's Vince's fucking humor, man. Vince's humor is
weird,
off the wall shit. No, that like Vince loved him some Johnny V. Johnny V wouldn't have existed if Vince McMahon didn't think that shit was funny. Like if Johnny V would have worked for Jim Crockett, it would have never happened. Jim Crockett would have been like, "You gotta fuck go, man. I don't know what the fuck you're doing."
He still would have kept that goddamn Paul Jones employee.
Yeah, but yeah, Vince loved him some Johnny V. That's Vince's. Vince is a terrible human being. Okay, but he's fucking funny.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I agree.
He's
I can
funny.
I can separate the art from the.
Yeah. Vince is a funny
you have
motherfucker.
to. I have to.
Yeah, he's a funny motherfucker.
The match that Candido and Joey are calling here is Sabu versus Louis Spicolli.
And they always have a good match.
That's
Didn't
so
they wrestle
funny.
like a...
That is so funny because my notes literally say these two always have a good match against each other.
Yeah. I think they've had like one or two of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's Sabu and Louis Spicolli.
Sabu likes to
work together.
Yeah, Sabu likes to give to Louis, man. Like,
and Louis can catch him.
Mm-hmm.
They always have a good fucking match.
Yeah, we were in total agreement there because I wrote this. I have the same fucking thing wrote down here. Because every time they go to wrestle, I think it's going to be a squash, and then it's not.
And it's always fucking good. And then my second note is Sabu actually hit his chair, like his chair dive thing on the first try. I'm like, oh, yeah, man, look at him.
Would you look at him?
Look at him. Sabu and Louis Spicolli. Always a good fucking match. And Louis was so fucking good. It's just, I don't know, we talked about it before, but it's just like, man, if that guy wouldn't have been so fucked up.
Yeah. And regardless of whether his fate, I think, honestly, regardless of whether his fate was going to be the same or not, you don't know. You can't tell. And I know ECW isn't exactly the harbinger of keeping somebody away from their demons. But I almost wish he never would have went to WCW because he fits WCW so well and he works with these guys so well. And anyway, whatever.
Yeah, but in that aspect too, like I know you wouldn't have wanted him to leave, but I wish he would have stayed in ECW too. But if you're looking at it as a business, which is a business, am I gonna stay here where the check might not clear? Or am I gonna go over here?
Right.
And hey, are you gonna stay here and work with Sabu, which isn't a bad thing, but your check might not clear, or are you gonna go over here and work with Larry Zbyszko and make 80 grand? Which in 97 wasn't bad money.
At one point during the match, the ref goes down, which I understand it in this context in ECW. Yeah, there's no disqualifications, but you need a ref to count the three. So the ref goes down. Louis hits a DVD on Sabu, but can't get the three because the referee's down. Gets the referee up. There's a table that got set up earlier in the match outside the ring between the ringside, or between the barrier and the ring. Louis tries to give Sabu the DVD through the table. Taz comes out, pushes them both off of the top turnbuckle. So they both go crashing down.
Spot. It was a crazy looking spot.
Yes. RVD is out with a chair. Him and Taz play the catch game with the chair. Sabu pushes Taz into RVD with the chair, which RVD, there's a miscommunication there. He thinks that for a second that Sabu did it on purpose because they're still playing into the tension between Sabu and Taz. You know, they started teaming up because they respect each other, but there's still a tension there, which I do appreciate. They didn't just make their tension go away because they're a tag team now, you know.
Yeah.
And then
I
while
like
they're
that with sorry, I like that with Taz too, like where like we talk about like the Van Daminator, yeah, like, you know, or Army will throw the chair to the guy and they catch it and they just stand there and they get hit with it.
Yeah.
That was fun because they threw it at Taz and Taz was like, fuck that.
No,
And he like,
no way, brother.
yeah,
Threw it
I
back
ain't
to him.
doing that. Yeah, threw it back to him like, fuck you. I like that. That was fun. His character was like, nah, I'm smarter than that, brother.
While Sabu and RBD are arguing, Taz puts a Taz mission on Louie, and Joey obviously acts confused, like, what the hell is he doing? Sabu moonsaults Louie for the victory. And then, of course, when we come back from break, Joey Styles and Candido get interrupted by Taz, who cuts a promo about Sabu. Until April 13th, you're the safest man in the world. Because I'm going to make sure that nobody, you can't even, he's pretty much like, I'm going to make sure you don't even stub your toe between now and barely legal.
I'm the only guy that's going to beat you. And, what we were talking about Candido and how good he is. I love the fact like Taz showed up and like Candido was like talking shit. Shut up real quick. And it was like, oh man, Joey was just here and he was just talking shit about you and saying this, that, and the other thing. I was defending you, man. I love everything about you. You're the best in the world. You're great. You're awesome. Yeah. And Taz is like looking at Candido. He's like, you know what? I appreciate that, brother.
Next time,
I appreciate that, brother. The next time you need a favor, you just ask. And Candido's like, look at Joe. He's like, yeah. See, I got it.
But I thought that was effective too. You know, I like the you're the safest man in the world until I break you in half.
Yeah.
And then here we go. I let it off with the show. I led the show off with it. It's the theme of the show because this shit fucking popped me. I loved this. I loved. Okay, so Raven is sitting on the floor in the locker room. Terry Funk walks in, looks down, and says, "Hello,
asshole."
Oh my god, I laughed so fucking hard at that shit. That was so funny. Beautiful. Hello, asshole.
Like, I'm fucking done with you, man. I've been dealing with your shit for like 3 months. Fucking over you.
And the gist of this segment is like Aaron said, Terry Funk's had it with Raven. So you know what he's going to do? He's going to get Raven to fight him. Because he's tired of Raven being a little whiny ass bitch, pretty much. I mean, he even calls him a wimpy little bastard during this thing. Because he comes in the locker room, says, hello, asshole. Wonderful. Sits on the floor like Raven. And then he just proceeds to antagonize Raven. Shit about his father. Shit about just poking and poking and poking at Raven to the point where Raven finally snaps and starts kicking Funk's head into the locker and fight me, old man, and blah, 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 blah. Very effective. And, you know, Funk's cussing Raven, and I don't know if you have anything else to add to it. I thought it was a really good segment between the two of them to kind of round out the story they've been telling, the whole father-son thing.
And I don't have a lot on it other than the fact, like you said, like there were those segments where Raven was sitting on his ass and Terry Funk was telling him, like, get up, fight me, you know. And then Terry Funk was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna sit on my ass. You fight me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I'm over you. And I don't give a shit about your father. I don't give fuck, like he's basically saying,
You walk around and tell everybody you're the world. He says, he's like, you walk around and tell everybody you're the world champion, but you're just a wimpy little bastard.
you're a crying ass bitch, you woke motherfucker. Stand up and fight me. And he's gonna make him do it. And it's like, I don't want to say it, like, I don't have any kids, and your kids obviously didn't act like that, but I would think if I had a child,
they didn't act like that. Like that, my kids were never that defiant or anything. They were, I'll tell everybody this till the day I die. As far as raising kids, I didn't have near the problems most people have with their children. My kids were good kids, but especially my son, they still went through those teen years with the angsty bullshit and the I don't want to do it, I don't want to go, that whole thing, which we all did it. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody acted like that.
Oh, we all did.
But what's that? Yeah, we all did. But this is kind of like that. Like when you at a certain point as a parent, you're like, oh, I'm so tired of this fucking shit. Listen,
I'm gonna put it back in your fucking face.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't want to take out the trash? Fine. Let's let it build up and see how much you like that. Do you like living in squalor? Little fucker.
Yeah. The next time you ask me for this or that, no, you didn't want to take that trash out or do those dishes, so I don't think I will do that for you. Yeah, you have to have those moments with your fucking bratty ass teenage kids. It's just the way it is.
I need $20 for gas. Duh. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get it.
Find it in the trash can when you take the trash out.
Walk, motherfucker. I put the $20 underneath the dirty dishes. Find it.
But yes, we all have those moments, with our, and again, like I said, my situation with my kids wasn't like, Raven would describe here with like an abusive father or whatever, obviously.
Obviously not.
But dealing with the angsty and the fucking, I don't want to do it. And yeah, that's what this is, it's the father-son dynamic. And Raven and Terry Funk.
Like I said, I just love the fact that Raven sat down for like a month and a half. So Terry Funk's a way to combat it was like, I'm gonna sit down too.
It's his way to combat it was to say, hello, asshole.
Hello, asshole. And then sit down.
And
Raven's like, get up and fight me. And he's like, no. Fuck you.
That hello asshole thing will now forever be one of my favorite moments in professional wrestling. It was perfect. I just wish the network wouldn't. I know why they edited it, but I just wish they wouldn't have edited it just so I could hear it. It was still effective. It was still great.
But it was like Terry Funk's character just being like, I'm done with this guy. And it wasn't even like, it wasn't, how do I say it? Like, him just doing the hello asshole and then sitting down. It wasn't even like Raven broke him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
He didn't break him. Funk's just had it. Like he's like, I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm over this. Like I'm done fucking around with this guy.
I'm done.
Not like
game. Yeah.
Not like, oh, I'm so stressed out what this guy did to me. He's just like, I'm done playing this fucking guy's game. Fuck him.
But yeah. So very effective segment to cap off this episode, which actually, for the first time in a long time, I actually gave this episode of Hardcore TV an A. This was a really good episode of wrestling television.
I'd agree.
It hit every point you needed to hit going into the pay-per-view. Every match was good. Every segment was good. There was no bullshit. There was nothing stupid. There was nothing I rolled my eyes at. Or I thought, I could do without this on this show. This was a really good 45 minutes of wrestling TV.
I completely agree. I enjoyed this show a lot.
That being said, we will wrap this show up, and I think it's so fun and so apropos that next week is episode 200 of Reliving the Extreme, and it is the Barely Legal pay-per-view episode of the show. And like I said, Chad will be back next week. We will have my interview with Aaron, yes, of course, but Chad will be back with us this week or next week.
Well, I'm just saying it's a miss. He might be back. We don't know what's going to happen in the next.
This is true. This is true.
Jettison himself into space.
Well, I can guarantee you the interview with Bob Smith will be on because that's in the can. I've got it recorded.
And I'll be here. Just don't promise people Chad. You don't know.
Do you have anything to say to anybody before anybody? You have anything to say to anybody? You're like, hello, asshole.
Hello, asshole. Rigamus.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say to our listeners before we sign off this week?
Just thanks for listening. I see that like some of our counts are going up on the YouTube pages and all that shit, so I appreciate that, and I'm looking forward to talking about Barely Legal.
Same here. And that's it. We're going to sign off. We'll see you next time around here on Reliving the Extreme. Like I said, episode 200, the Barely Legal episode, is coming up, and I'm looking forward to it. Have a great weekend.